Now, it's been a pretty busy few years, and recently there has been a lot of tension around as well. I'm delighted to say that Tim Bruce joins me in the studio this afternoon. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
Hello, and it's pretty interesting because you're going to talk to us today about meditation. I know a lot of people may have heard of it, but many people maybe have never even had a go at doing it. So let's start off by asking, what is meditation then?
Okay, so meditation is essentially a state of being. It's not something that we do as such, so it's not about sitting in a certain way or wearing certain clothes or saying certain things even. It's about a state of thoughtlessness, that's silence. So when we're in meditation, in that state, it's characterized by a thoughtless state. So we're not thinking about the past, we're not thinking about the future, we're completely aware of the present moment. And we go into that silent state where we have a sense of detachment, but not alienation. It's an integrated sense of detachment, you could call it. And it's very simply awakened within us by awakening an energy called Kundalini. So Kundalini is something which is at the base of the spine in each of us. It's a feminine energy, a mother energy, you could say. Spiritual mother. And by awakening this energy, it brings us into balance. It brings all of the centers. So within us are 3 channels. So we have the left channel, which is the emotional side. We have the right channel, which is the active side, the masculine side, you could say, futuristic side. And in the middle, we want to be as much as possible in the center. So if we're feeling depression, for example, this means we're being pulled too much to the left. We're too much kind of being pulled into our emotions or attachments, you could say. If we're feeling very stressed or aggressive or angry, this is generally because we're being pulled too much into the right side. And both directions are taking us away from health and well-being and a feeling of peacefulness, all those qualities which are inside. And by meditation, we're bringing ourselves more and more into that sense of pure well-being, of pure spirit, of pure being, essentially. It's interesting because we spend so much of our time running away from ourselves. And this is a very simple way of bringing our attention inside, of connecting us with our deeper selves, and also beyond that, connecting ourselves with the collective unconscious, which Jung has talked about, for example. It takes us beyond ourselves so that we feel part of everything. We're not alone. We're, as Dryden says, no man is an island entire of itself. We're all linked to each other. We're all linked to what goes on in Ukraine. We're linked to what happens in the rainforests. We're linked to what happens in nature and with each other. But the trick is to be in that positive energy. We don't want to be blocked by all kinds of negativity. So there are various types of negativity which affect us on each of the centers, like anger, fear, anxiety, depressions. All kinds of things affect us. And to have a technique, a simple technique, which we have in Sahaja Yoga meditation, which is the meditation practice that we're talking about now. Sahaja Yoga means spontaneous self-realization, which means it doesn't take any effort. You just simply need to awaken it. And then it's as simple as breathing. When you get used to it, it shouldn't be a hard thing. It's a natural process. And it's very easily done. Which we can try now.
Yes, yeah, it sounds great. That sounds great. Well, let's do that at home. So where do you start then? Because another question I was going to ask you, which we can probably say ask over, was how did you get into it? Because I know it must take a lot of energy to learn, and obviously you kind of get into that zone. But once you've achieved that, I guess it's quite not. It must be quite. You must feel a sense of gratitude that you're able to pass that knowledge on to other people for them to also learn how to meditate and
absolutely
relax when things are getting a bit too much in everyone's lives.
Well, we're all volunteers, so we're all charitably, as it were, giving our time and teaching this. But this is information, techniques which are coming from Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, and in fact it's the 100th anniversary of her birth next year, which is a very special time. And so all of these techniques have been taught to us by Sri Mataji, and in fact she was the one that opened the top center, which we call the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. She opened that center, which is why since 1970, since that time, we've been able to give this en masse self-realization, as we call it, this awakening, because before that it was much more difficult. But that's the quality of that center, that collectiveness, that integration. I've forgotten the first part of your question, but
is how you actually you got into it yourself, because I know that I know now that obviously you're giving back and you're showing people how to meditate, but you yourself, you must have stumbled upon it in the first place to get quite deep into it, and obviously I've been seeking for years to something. Who am I? What is my place in the world? What's it all about? How to improve? How to grow spiritually? And all of these questions led me in this direction through art, mostly. By profession, I'm an actor, a singer, a writer, all these things. So through arts, I've been seeking, and through music especially, and it led me in this direction to a new subtle kind of awareness. So when the Kundalini awakens, you can literally feel on your fingertips the state of your own centers. So you are very much connected with inside, and also for an artist, this means you have a very subtle more subtle kind of awareness of expression, of mood, you could say, of the Indians call it ras. There's a specific Sanskrit word for it, ras, but it's aesthetic mood, and there are very, very different ones which come into play, and they also relate to the centers, the chakras. Each of the chakras have their own qualities and their own particular moods, you could say, which manifest in our daily life. And so on our fingers, we can feel what's going on in those centers. So if we're feeling, say, for example, on our right thumb, we're feeling like a pricking. There's a word, actually, there's a line from Shakespeare, by the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes, from Macbeth. So what they're saying here is that, on my fingers, on my thumbs, I can feel there's some negative energy. That pricking is a negativity I can feel on my thumb. So you then know, okay, so I need to go to my second center called Swadhisthana chakra. I go to that center and I put some energy into that center, and it removes that blockage, it removes that problem. Because these problems, when they build up over years, decades, whatever, they can lead to physical problems and health problems. So as much as possible, we want to be in a cool, flowing energy of connection and of silence and of peace. And this is something you can do. You don't have to be doing it specifically sitting down in front of an altar or anything like that. You can do it in the middle of the park, sitting on the earth. You can do it looking at the sky. I mean, all of the elements are intimately linked with the chakras. Creation is a natural world, and it's man humanity who's moved away from that's created all of our problems. Climate problem is human-made. The current problem in Ukraine with Russia is human-made. The problem with energy crisis is human-made. The food crisis that may come on the back of the energy crisis is also human-made. So the solution is for people to enter into this self-realization awareness. That is the solution. The more people who are able to enter into that peaceful, silent state and maintain that daily through whatever they do, and inform the decisions that they make in a more enlightened way, a more collective way, let's say. So many decisions are not really taking into consideration the collective whole. There's a very narrow band of thinking sometimes which goes into our decision making. If we had a global view, for example, how could there be wars if we had that view and that sense of peace inside? So it's inside.
There's no external sense of, how I feel is dependent on what such and such a person says or what such and such a thing happens. No, independent, almost detached from what goes around us, we can have our own sense of strength and well-being. It's immensely empowering to know that inside of you is that eternal, infinite energy, that force of life that we can connect with at any time. Anytime you want, you can go into that thoughtless area and recharge, take that energy and just enjoy it, whether it's in the form of truth or bliss or consciousness or peace, or there are so many different manifestations of it, but the essence of it is the same. It's that spiritual being, that thoughtless awareness state, that silence.
And following on from that, should we have a go at doing it? Because it'd be really good to kind of get us all into that mood. Now, obviously, if you're driving at the moment, it might not be the best time to be doing it, but if you do get the chance to listen back, maybe at home as well, you can listen again to us as well. So I'll just fade that down for everybody listening as well at home. So, and also we are accompanied by musical instruments as well, which is really, really cool.
So the instrument is actually called a swar mandal. So it's an Indian harp, actually. So swar mandal means garland of all the notes. So it's just all the notes of a particular classical Indian rag, which is called Rag Durga. But we don't need to know that much. And it's actually helping our heart center. So the notes of this particular rag are helping open the heart center, helping us have a sense of fearlessness, of ease, of security. And so anyway, that's a little aside. So the actual exercise we're going to do is going to be affirmation based. Okay, and so if we're sitting at home, we can just sit in a comfortable position, feet on the floor, maybe kick off your shoes or slippers if you have that. If you're in the car, you can do the affirmations, but please be very much aware of where you're driving and what's going on around you. So just close the eyes, take the attention inside, and if you put your right hand on your heart and quietly inside, just ask yourself, am I the pure spirit? Am I the pure spirit? So all our attention is going into the heart, which is where the spirit resides within us. And then up onto the forehead. So we can just put our head across the forehead, our hand across the forehead, sorry. So just like squeezing the temples. So all our attention is now in the forehead. And we just say inside, I forgive. I forgive. So don't think about any instance or any person or anything like that. No, it's a general letting go from the heart. I forgive. I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. That's quite important, actually, to forgive yourself also. So it doesn't matter what mistakes we've made, just forget about them. I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. And then, what we can do is just take the flat of the palm of the right hand, put it on the top of the head. So this is where the top center is, the Sahasrara chakra, which we mentioned earlier, and where the fontanelle bone area is in babies. So that soft spot when we were a child. And we can just press down with that hand and inside ask, please give me my self-realization. And we can even address this Kundalini energy as Mother. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Please establish me in thoughtless awareness, in silence. Please give me the silence. And then just raise the hand above the head, about, say, 20 centimeters or 8 inches above the head. And you may already start to feel that there's a cool energy coming from the top of your head. So you may feel that in both hands, actually, because if the system is flowing with energy, you can feel it like a cool. You may feel it a little bit like a warm, but don't worry about that. It's still activating. And some may feel it a little higher, a little lower. And then just relax both hands on the lap. Open, so your palms are open. Face upwards on the lap. That's it. Great. And now imagine that you're still breathing through the top of the head. Very gently, very silently. Just focus your breath upwards. So it's a very subtle breath. It's not like you're exercising or anything. It's just very gentle, subtle, quiet breath through the top of the head. And now we're going to just do a little bit of music to help ease that state, that feeling of peace, of silence. Jwala jwala prajwala prajwala Aim rim klim chamundaye viche Jwala ham sam lam ksham vatsvaha Om Shanti 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 Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo 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 Namaha.
Wow, so that was lovely. Thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you in as well. And there is a reason why you guys are in, because you are doing free meditation sessions here in Greenwich as well, I've been told.
That's right. So every Thursday you can come along to the Greenwich West Community Centre, which is on Greenwich High Road. So at 7:30 every Thursday, there are free classes. So you can learn all about this from our dedicated volunteers. As I said, we're a charity and it's run by volunteers. So everything we do is free. And you could also do it online. So wemeditate.com. You can also do it online between now and next Thursday to give it a go. And they're also all over London. So if you want to check on another area of London, Sahaja Yoga, SahajaYoja, London.co.uk. You can find out if there's another meeting near you, for example, like Leytonstone, or for example, or Harrow. They're all over the place and all over the world, in fact.
Well, that sounds great. Well, I hope, fingers crossed, I'll be able to attend one of the sessions. It sounds really, really good. Tim, thank you very much for coming on, and it's been lovely also to have a bit of music this afternoon. And hopefully everyone's a bit more relaxed into the long weekend.
Hope so.
Lovely. Well,
the resurrective mood.
Yes, absolutely. a reawakening as well. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be able to invite you back in and speak to you again soon. That'd be lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.